Here. Dr. Modrak.
Here.
Ms. Fiala. Here. Mr. Sun.
Here. Pledge allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education provided public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location that was posted at the Montville Township Municipal Building, all Montville Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the district website, and advertised in the Daily Record, the board's official newspaper, on December 1st, 2023.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Fiala, Mr. Sun. We have a microphone at the podium for you this time.
Okay, so we're going to start off with some things that happened in the recent past. So we're going to start off with the annual Key Club Thanksgiving Food Drive, which ran from Monday, November 13th to Friday, November 17th. The donated items were used to prepare Thanksgiving bags that the Kiwanis Club delivered to local families in need, and the additional items went directly to the Montville Kiwanis Food Bank. And this year we had a total of 2,389 items that were donated. We also had the fall play that started on November 16th and played through the 18th. The play this year was Puffs, which was a fun-filled family parody of a popular British wizarding school. Many people came to see the play, and it was a great success. On November 30th, there was a virtual financial aid night for parents, guardians, and students. The event featured Greg Midden, a director of financial aid at Norenberg College. The class of 2024 also recently had a David's Cookies fundraiser, which ran from November 6th to November 20th. The fundraiser was also a major success, and the delicious baked goods will be delivered to students to enjoy for the holiday break. On November 16th, FBLA hosted their annual badminton tournament. They had a total of 40 teams participating. The winners were Eli Kaufman and Christopher Lee. Over $400 were raised and donated to the March of Diamond organization. Last Wednesday, November 29th, we had a former MTHS student, Molly Smith, who is a Syracuse graduate and a journalist at Bloomberg, and she spoke to members at the International Concerns Club during lunch. Also, on last Wednesday, November 29th, and on Thursday, November 30th, FBLA members did their regional testing, and the members who will qualify for states are going to join the Street to State members at Atlantic City next March. And then finally, the spring production of Footloose was just announced by the theater company, and the date has not yet been announced.
So now we're going to move on to the present. So Key Club, Best Buddies, and the hockey team are currently holding a toy drive fundraiser that started November 20th and will end this Friday, December 8th. HOSA will have a guest speaker, Dr. Arnold Polly, on December 7th, who will talk about his career in medicine, and students will get his advice on their possible careers in healthcare. The varsity bowling team just kicked off their 2023-2024 season with an undefeated record of 2-0 as they recently beat Chatham and Kinnelon. So now some future events. The Winter Pep Rally will be held on Friday, December 22nd. The activities will feature student-faculty basketball game, a student-faculty flash mob, and a family feud game. The theme days are Polar Express Day, Candy Cane Day, Channel Your Inner Flannel, Roles Reversed, and Festive Friday. What makes this year different from years past is that the dance club will actually be choreographing the dance for the flash mob and is now open to all students and faculty. So now for the rest of the upcoming athletic seasons. The varsity swim team kicks off their season on Thursday against Randolph. The hockey team will have their first game of the season this Friday, December 8th against Westmore Central. The girls and boys basketball team start their season off on Thursday, December 14th. The girls will play Chatham at home, and the boys will play Mount Olive away. Finally, on Saturday, December 16th, the varsity wrestling team has their first match away versus Morris Knolls. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Just point out, in addition to the high school doing a great job with food drives and toy drives, Lazar, William Mason, and I think Valley View also had food drives as well, and that were also quite successful. So kudos to all the kids in all schools and their efforts. Thank you. Okay. Superintendent?
Yeah, we're going to bring up the students first. We're going to bring up the acapella. So, Mr. Cherney, why don't you come up here, introduce everybody, what's going on, and share some holiday cheer with us.
Hey, there we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Ted Cherney. I am the Director of Choirs here at MTHS. I am very happy to introduce our brand new a cappella group this year that I actually recently started. This is Impulse. So Impulse is a little different from some of the other vocal ensembles we have at this school. Impulse is a group that specifically studies and performs contemporary a cappella, which is a relatively new style of music from the last 20, 30 years or so that has really just taken the world by storm. Something that is really awesome about this group is that we are actually going to be competing in some annual competitions. If you are familiar with the movie Pitch Perfect, that is actually based on a real-life competition, a competition I competed through all throughout college. So when I came to Montville, I decided I wanted to create my own a cappella group so we could all compete in the high school version of that competition, which is called the ICHSAs. One thing that I think is really awesome about this a cappella group is it gives these students some opportunities that they normally wouldn't have in a normal choral setting. As you'll see in just a moment, we have a lot of wonderful soloists. But part of when you're competing in a cappella is you do so with full choreography. Choreography that actually I've put on the students to create themselves. So we have our own choreography team. They're the ones that really teach the choreography when it's time to get there. So it's giving them a little bit of the ownership for themselves. And it's been really just rewarding to watch this group grow and watch them just enjoy this contemporary a cappella, which I think you're all going to enjoy quite a bit in just a second. So we actually only have one song for you today. This is going to be our version of I Will Survive, originally performed by Gloria Gaynor, with our soloist, Megna Nielasetti.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong. And I learned how to get along until you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look on your face. I should've changed, I stupid like I should've made you leave your key. But I know for just 1 second you'll think back to bother me. Oh, now go, walk out the door, just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Want you to wanna try to break me with goodbye. You think I'd crumble, you think I'd lay down and die. None that I will survive. I will as long as I know how. I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give, and I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent oh so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Go on now, go, walk out the door, just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Want you to wanna try to break me with goodbye. You think I'd crumble, you think I'd lay down and die. And none that I will survive. I will as long as I know how. I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live, I've got all my love
Thank you everybody very much. Thank you for having us. Just wanted to thank the board, MTHS, Mr. Fleischman, just for having us on this very fine night, and hope you enjoy the rest of your meeting. Thank you very much.
That was wonderful. You know, obviously that was just a little taste of more to come, so we can't wait to see you compete and put on more performances for us. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Makes you want to dance.
It really does.
Just all stand right there. Just all stand right there.
Oh, sorry. Picture time. I spoke a little too soon. Yeah, go right next to All right, find a window, guys. Find a window.
And make sure that, like, if you're tall, move a step back. If you're short, move a step forward. There you go. That's what we're talking about. Kick it. Yes. Okay. Ready? Really loud. Survive.
Survive!
Thank you. Good job.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
And just another example, you know, we get to showcase so many of the different things that are going on, you know, like we only get a little taste here at the board meetings. But it's just, you know, the arts are flourishing here in the school system on the K through 12 level, and you get to see the, you know, the culmination of all of that, of 12 years of experience coming together, so that's wonderful.
Even when it starts in the fall. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just with the other presentations, the VFW could not make it tonight, so they're going to come to the next board meeting, and they're going to have the essay contest winners speak and do their quick show there that night, so we're looking forward to that, and you'll see some more of the academic level going on that evening. As for my report, just wanted to share, we sent out the 4-page flyer to the residents in the town that had a lot of the information on there about the upcoming referendum. We also send out a postcard summarizing the information and reminding people to get out there and vote. That is next Tuesday, the 12th, and the voting hours from 2 to 8 p.m. We sent out also, well actually tomorrow we'll be sending out 3 of the 1-minute videos to try and highlight the different aspects of space, HVAC, and security, and they'll be coming out, so stay tuned for that on our social media feeds. And we had a webinar last week with all a group of panelists, from our architect to some of us, the administrators were on there. We also had our bond counsel on that as well, to answer over 50 questions that were asked that night. And we had over 100 attendees from all throughout the community listen to that night. So that went extremely well. Even though the vote will be next December 12th, the vote will not be certified for at least probably 2 weeks. They say a tentative idea we'll be getting is on the 19th, but it'll be officially ratified on or around the 27th or the 28th. So we'll be keeping you updated on that. So you'll have some preliminary tallies that night into Wednesday morning, and then we'll be keeping the people informed about that as we go on. And again, we just saw what went on tonight. There's a lot more concerts that are going on during the day and during the night with all the different students. So we'll be enjoying them. There's some of them that even carry into January. So if you're available, try to get to some of these concerts and enjoy all the wonderful things our students are doing.
Thank you. Yeah, and for the vote, the reason is that they have 7 days after the election to get the mail-in ballots, and then you have to then count provisional ballots, and that's why it takes an extra 2 weeks after the election day. Business Administrator's report.
No report.
Okay, let's move on to section G, liaisons, facilities finance, Karen.
No report.
Okay, curriculum, Michelle.
Yes, we actually had a very productive meeting this evening before closed session. I'll highlight a few things. We reviewed the proposed 24-25 program of studies, and a couple things to highlight that Dr. Spitzer, the supervisor of world language and ESL, submitted a proposal to begin American Sign Language the next school year. The course would be able to be taken as an elective or a student's primary world language study. And that's, of course, pending approval by the board of the program of studies. And there are some changes being made to the FDU early college dual enrollment program in terms of requirements that they have, and the administration is also looking at expanding it to other schools like Ramapo College, so that's all in the works. Update on the MTHS midterm schedule, which was revised for this year based on feedback of the changes that were made last year. They're basically reverting back to half days for midterm and final exams based on a period schedule as opposed to everyone taking it the same subject at the same time. But what will remain, which was effective last year, was that just those subjects that are identified as taking cumulative assessments, standardized assessments, will be the ones that will be tested. Also pleased to report that the district applied for and received a $76,000 grant for high impact tutoring. And this will be using our district's own teachers for 3rd and 4th grade students who are in need of additional support in ELA and math. And that will run from January 2nd through August 31st of 2024. So that's additional support for our students that we're happy to receive through the grant. And I guess people should just be aware the State Board of Education approved new math and ELA standards that will go into effect next September. So supervisors are going to be working with the teachers over the summer to update our curriculum to reflect the new standards.
Okay, thank you. Policy, Joe.
No report.
Communications, Mike Paula.
No report.
Safety, Mike Rappaport.
No report.
Okay. Delegate Liaisons, New Jersey School Boards, Kara.
Thank you. So the Board of Directors of New Jersey School Boards met on November 17th, and just a couple of highlights from the meeting. The NJSBA received a clean audit for fiscal year 2022-2023. Workshop was a huge success. There were 8,200 confirmed attendees. That's just about double of what a normal attendance would be. The registration, there were over 200 programs that board members and others could attend. So it's already working on next year's workshop to try and top this year's. And Dr. Purnell will be hosting a new monthly podcast series called The Boardroom that'll feature conversations with board members and staff members regarding topics of interest to board members. The delegate assembly was held on December 2nd, and I guess the most important feature of the delegate assembly is that a number of resolutions were presented and debated, and some were moved on and will become part of the policy manual. They involve things like cohort classification for graduation statistics, CTE certification, and others. And there was a change to the nominating committee bylaws to make it clearer from what pool various segments of New Jersey school boards can participate. That's it.
Thank you. Morris County School Boards, Michelle.
The next Morris County School Board meeting is this Thursday, December 7th, in person from 6 to 8:30 at Morris Knowles High School. The subject is defining boardmanship in controversy. You could also attend it virtually via Zoom, so you still can register on the Morris County School Boards Association website if people have not already done so.
Thank you. Morris County Educational Services, Joe.
Next meeting is on the 13th.
Okay, and then drug awareness.
Next meeting is this Thursday.
Thank you. Charlie, Montville. Okay, liaisons, Cedar Hill, Karen.
No report?
Hildale, Charlie.
No report.
Valley View, Joe.
No report.
William Mason, John.
No report.
Woodmont, Mike Palma.
No report.
Lazar, Christine.
I've got a report.
I know you have one.
So the meeting was last evening. They talked about, they had their first blingo. They raised over $22,000. They're very grateful to the community for all coming out, and especially grateful to all the teachers and staff members who came out to support this wonderful fundraiser. They have about $1,000 for their teachers' wish list, and they're asking all the teachers if they can't help them to please contact MEF for grant money. Their book fair is from today through Thursday. They are doing Dine to Donate, which is you visit 2 local restaurants in town and you hand them a flyer or you show them what you have on your cell phone, and they donate a portion to Lazar students. Also, two great things, 2 great people. Teacher of the Year went to Karen Wardell, and she is a science teacher at Lazar. The Educator of the Year was Catherine Alici. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And so congratulations to them. And March 4th is their next meeting. Their meeting in January has been canceled. So just March 4 is the next one.
Thank you. What restaurants, do you know?
I don't. I think it's the new chicken place in Pine Brook. Yes, but I don't know the name, and I don't know what the second one is.
Oh, I guess we can go check out the webpage.
Yes.
And congratulations to Ms. Wardell and Alici. High school, Mike Rappaport.
No report.
MTA Negotiations Committee, Karen?
Yeah, just before that, I left out of my report for school boards that I did attend the Salem Cumberland meeting on November 6th and ran into Joe virtually. Joe was attending virtually. So negotiations with the Montville Township Education Association. We had a meet and greet on November 30th. It went very well. This is really just a meeting where we don't negotiate. We basically break bread together. We set a very friendly tone and hope that that will continue throughout negotiations, and I'm sure it will. And currently, we are attempting to find a date for our next meeting, and we'll be communicating with the association.
Thank you. And for the MTAA, Charlie?
We haven't met yet. Usually we follow the teachers a little bit. Hopefully right after the new year, the committee will get together with the administration, put together our proposals, and select the dates with the MTAA, the administrators to present proposals, and hopefully have a conference.
Great. And Joe, the MTSIA?
We're going to follow the same format as well.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, now we get to the first public participation session that we have. This is for items on the agenda. I'll just let you know the rules are that the comments shall be limited to 5 minutes in duration, preferably, so it gives other people a chance to speak. Speaking on the same topic until all others have spoken. This is a time to present comments, questions, and statements to the board. However, you may not receive an answer right away. It may take some time to get an answer depending on what's being asked or said. And that is pretty much it, except just common decency and decorum. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone who would like to speak on items on the agenda? If so, come to the microphone. Sure. Give us your name, address, and let us know what you're thinking.
Sure, it's Peter DeFranco. I was here last meeting. Can you hit me with the mic? Is this,
well, it helps with the recording.
Oh, for the recording. Okay, I didn't hear an echo here. I'm going to ask for a little bit more than 5 minutes. Maybe we can address that. We have a couple topics to report on. When I was here last meeting,
Is it?
it's referendum with the schools.
That you're going to take that, or you want it at the end? Can we hold the referendum? Okay.
Yeah, I can wait.
You can be first in line.
Did you have any questions as on the agenda though, or no?
Not specifically to what you said.
Okay, then we'll hold off. You can just sit right there, and you'll be the first one up at the end. Thank you. Okay. Anyone comments on the agenda? No. Okay, so this motion for items I through N. Thank you, Charlie.
Second.
Okay. Any questions on the minutes? Section I. Section J. Any questions on K? Comments on section L?
Yeah, just real quick. Quickly, we have Don Morganoff retiring. He served at the high school in the technology as a technology education teacher since 2013. During that time, he has been consistent, been a consistent presence in the high school woodshop, CAD, and the technology education classes. He always strove to find new and interesting projects for students to complete. Many new technologies were incorporated into the woodshop, including pen lathes, CNC router, and several other new machines which he was in charge of. He also increased the community involvement of our students. In several instances, students created furniture for Family Promise of Morris County, an organization dedicated to ending homelessness and housing insecurity for Morris County residents. More than once, for example, woodshop students created a bunk bed with integrated desks. This was warmly received and immediately put to use by the Family Promise. Often Don would deliver the furniture himself. We wish him well in his retirement.
Okay, any other comments on L, M, and there's nothing in policy, so roll call vote, please.
Mr. Grau?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Yes?
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mrs. Spano?
Yes?
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Mr. Petrosino?
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Dr. Modrak?
Yes. Okay, there's no closed session. Old business? Any old business or new business from the board?
I attended with a couple of other board members, I believe, the National Honor Society induction ceremony. And as always, it was very well run and very proud of our students.
As we should be. No other
Okay,
comments? Yes.
I was approached by the Hilldale's PTA, PTC person to see if the board would want to get a table at their event in May, their fundraiser event. So I'll take the lead if anyone wants to donate. I think it's about $100 a table. I'll get you more information. But if we could do a whole table as a board, that would be nice. So just throwing that out there. And then the other, one other thing, there was a grant mentioned by Michelle in Michelle's report for third and fourth grade students. What is being distributed to parents to apply for that?
I mean, I think they just got all of the details, but
Andrea, yes, right, she's not here, she would be the one to answer that, but it's being prepared as we speak. We just kind of got confirmation that we got it, but it's going to be, there's going to be 2 teachers in each elementary school who are current teachers. It's going to be an after-school program, and it runs through August, so there'll be summer enrichment opportunities too. And so that communication is going to come out soon.
No other comments from the board? We'll open it up for public participation session number 2. We already have someone in line.
All right.
Okay.
It's not my usual, it's actually my second board meeting that I've ever been to, including where I grew up in Nutley. So I was here last time, and Dr. Gorman was nice enough to have a meeting at William Mason School with some of the residents, so I wanted to report back on that to start. I want to thank him for being a great leader and doing that. Where I grew up in Nutley, I don't think you could do anything to get the superintendent's attention, let alone get emails back pretty promptly in the morning. So I'm here not only as a member of William Mason District, but also a Montville citizen. So I have some papers to hand to everybody because I think it would better explain some of the things visually, and also I had some additional research done for the board. The first thing, if everybody can pull that up, I'm going to wait for everybody for a second. While we're doing that, the first thing that we did with the architect and the members of the school, or the members of the neighbors, is we went outside and walked the property. Does everybody see the yellow addition that's in the...
Can I just interrupt for just one second? Okay, so Dr. Gorman did report back to us about your meeting. So you don't have to spend too much time reviewing it because we were aware. But if you want to point out the most important points, that'd be great. That way it would save on some time for you.
I understand that, but it is very important, so I'd like to go over, because I don't know what was said at the meeting, I wasn't invited.
No.
Okay, so if we look at the right side of this, I think everybody would agree that the building goes extremely close to the property line, as is actually pretty egregious to where they're building. The best I can estimate is it's 5 feet away from all the adjoining property lines, and offer to be built on the only side where there's residences. I reviewed the ordinances in Montville, which are at the back of the pamphlet, and the school is a conditional use, and they have to have at least 25 feet side to side, 100 feet back, and 100 feet forward. Now in that area, I will also tell you that if the DEP comes in there, there are protected wildlife, including woodpeckers, which put holes in my house, and I had an independent architect and planner come and visit the site, to which he found bedrock, which would require blasting. I have on page 2 and 3 an analysis by an independent architect and planner about building on the left side of the school where there are no residents. So during that meeting, we went out there, and the original comment about building to the right, the architect said, well, I live next to a park and they play basketball. We went out to the left, and one of the neighbors who does do construction says, well, why don't you build a 2-story over here? And his response was, we'd have to build an elevator. Okay, why would you have to build an elevator? Because then we'd have to bring it up, not 1960 code, to 2023. Our response as neighbors is, why would you do a $17 million project and not bring it up? But more importantly, what is alarming as a citizen is that he said it would be $1 million to build an elevator. Now I just want to stop there, because I consulted with 2 people, and this architect says it may be $2 to $250. And at that point, if you build on left side of the school, you don't have to redo the parking lot, take down the playground, put in a new parking lot, build a new playground, which I'm assuming is significantly more expensive than having an elevator in case you have a kid in a wheelchair. And if you have a kid in a wheelchair, does it make sense for 6 years to bus them over to another school? And I'm not in the administration, so I don't know if that takes place. But if you can't accommodate a special needs kids in a wheelchair, assuming you have to bus them for 6 years, however long he's in the school system, to another school. So I have an independent analysis of 2 pages from not only an architect, but a certified planner who has described how much better it would be to build to the left. It gives you a courtyard, you don't have to trade the traffic pattern at all, and it's not what the architect that's been working on this says to be $1 million. So I think that would cause concern for any citizen, and I'm assuming it would cause concern for the board to hear something like that. I have gone over with some of the neighbors who are here to discuss the change in traffic patterns. If you look at this new image on the first page, that's different than what's been provided originally, because now apparently I think they want to put a pickup and drop off even further down the street and have the line going all the way down Cheyenne to Shawnee. So what I'm shortly trying to say is this. If we have an addition on our homes, flood in the basement, we always get other opinions for what work is done. This is a $70 million project. And in 1 week, I had an independent architect come out here and say there's a much better way to do it. The numbers you're getting are incorrect as far as budgeting and protections and projections. And there are better ways to do this if it passes. And the last thing I added, as a citizen, I did a little digging on the demography, and I read it. I'd have to read it maybe 6 more times. I think as a citizen, it would be very much appreciated to have an independent demographer take a look at the numbers. And I'm going to give you some examples. What they're trying to build is 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. In talking with the planner, he says that usually doesn't give you the inflow of students that you have. They're using methodology from 1930 on page 10 of what they submitted. And let's take Booton, for example. They built hundreds of apartments out on Avalon. And my research shows they got 20 students. So in my line of work as an attorney, I've seen experts say there's a $3 million economic loss, and someone retained by the other side to say 30,000. So as a citizen, just looking at the demography in a $70 million project, I really would hope that there'd be consideration just to say, maybe we should ask another person for their other opinion, because it's just projections. So I have another neighbor here tonight, and there's another member. I have discussed this with the Valhalla Civic Association, and at the very least, what I'm hoping is perhaps for each different school, the members of the local community can have an input as to how it's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine is going to be much I was at the same.
That's okay. I'll hold on to these and pass it out after the meeting.
So I was at, okay, Glenn Peterson, 3 Cheyenne Drive. So I was at the same meeting at the school, going through this project. And after this, we got the drawing, which showed the lot lines, but it also showed the drop-off area in front of the school. And the current traffic flow, there's 2 parts of it. You have the drop-off in the morning. The cars line up on on Cheyenne Drive, and they about 25 cars are wrapping around into the school. About 7 cars can unload at the same time. The pickup is even longer. So the pickup, it says I'm right on Cheyenne Drive, so it starts in front of my house, runs all the way up the block, so from around 2:30 till the school clears up, the street's closed. And this is with probably about 30 to 35 cars in the property wrapping around, because the pickup is all the way by the basketball courts. So the new plan looks like it's a little tiny traffic circle right on Cheyenne. So the cars would then back up all the way down to Shawnee. This thing would be a traffic nightmare. Has anybody actually researched the effects of this on Cheyenne traffic? Because you can't currently you can't schedule a delivery between 2 and 3. The road basically closes. The new plan, the entrance going in is just one path going between parking spaces. The drawings are in there. So you couldn't put the traffic going through the parking spaces. Otherwise, if the school bus is late, there'd be no way for the school bus to get in. There'd be no way for people to park the cars. So I can see that there's no provision for bringing them into the property. It's all going to be done in this little tiny circle. That's my comments. This needs to be thought about more carefully. And the other thing is that pieces of this program seem to be emerging, rather than being transparent and letting the thing be out from the beginning. You're showing a rendering of the building, but you show no lot lines, and you show no traffic patterns. You're saying that the parking lot's going to be relocated to the playground, and the playground's going to be relocated to the basketball courts. Are there going to be any basketball courts when this thing's over? I have no idea. But it seems like there's a lot of motion, and there's very little information that's being publicly put out. And that's my comments. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Were there any other comments from the public on this?
Hello everyone, my name is Mike Sabat, 15 Cheyenne Drive. I was born and raised in this town, so I've seen a lot of development, farmlands, all around in the area. I've lived on Cheyenne for close to 16 years now, and to the point the other gentleman made around the traffic, it's ridiculous. I don't know how many times I almost got Amazon trucks coming down from 2 o'clock onward. The car lines are ridiculous, and technically I think Shawnee is the legal address, and looking at the variances for the zoning, I think there's got to be a 100-foot setback from the rear the property, which would be basically Pete's side yard. So, consider if it passes, moving it over to the side of the gym. There's blacktop that's hardly in use. There's 4 basketball hoops. They're dilapidated. You can't even play basketball on that. I know during COVID, my kids would go down there and play, but the rims were not even functional. So the playground needs to be improved anyway. So reconsider, if it does pass and there is a real need for additional classrooms, there's plenty of room adjacent, and my kids are in college and a senior in high school. If I recall, there are classrooms below the gymnasium, so you could bump that out, put a bridge, or extend the gym to facilitate an all-purpose room, right? So there's definitely various alternatives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments?
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Ed Bullis. I live at 19 Charlemagne Place over here in Pine Brook. Dr. Gorman, I think you mentioned in the beginning of this session that there's going to be another meeting to discuss HVAC and security or something. I don't know if it's here or somewhere else, but...
Not another meeting. We had one last week.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that just triggered something in my mind when I heard security. I know in Pine Brook here, Montville area, there's been an increase of burglaries, break-ins, porch pirates, going up people's porches, stealing packages, all times of the day, night break-ins, burglaries during the day, 12:30, right on Merlin Place, somebody stole packages. So my concern is, especially all the students, but especially the elementary students at our elementary schools, during recess, I'm just thinking we have unwanted people in our town that are not here to do good things. So our children are out on the playgrounds during recess. My questions to you are there cameras surveilling these playground areas where the children are? Slides, swing sets, wherever the children are playing. Because we don't want an unfortunate happening, somebody unwanted, they steal a package, that's one thing. When they come onto school property and try to do something to our children, that's another thing. I don't want that to happen here. My son goes to Hilldale, he's in 3rd grade. I don't want that to happen. So my question is, during recess, outside, are they being surveilled by cameras? And if not, why not? And if there's a need for cameras, I really do think there's a need for cameras wherever the children are out on recess. There should be a camera for surveillance. I don't want to hear, oh, well, that swing set doesn't have a camera. That play area doesn't have a camera. If there's children there, they should be surveilled. That's all I have. Thank you. And I guess I could hear, I don't know when I'll get a response if they are surveilled. I don't know if you come to me where you tell everybody now, or I don't know how this works.
Well, if you want to leave your email address after the
Sure.
meeting, the superintendent can email you back and talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so seeing no more comments, we'll close the public participation session. Dr. Gorman, is there anything you wanted to add to this?
Yeah, just so for a couple of comments, maybe I'll just talk about security real quick. We don't talk a lot about security in public, but we do have surveillance on the playgrounds and everywhere else. We have people, faculty members out there. We have a very close relationship with the police. In fact, we just met with the chief and the SRO, the school resource officer, last week. We do have patrol officers that are constantly going in and out of our schools on a random but frequent basis. And the school resource officer is going to be housed in a lot of the different elementary schools, rotating as well. So we do have a lot of the police presence right there. So we are aware, and the police keep us updated on any kind of issues that are going on in town. We are aware of that. So, so we're comfortable with the security of the students. And if there's any kind of danger that's out there, the faculty do alert the police immediately, and we get a very quick response. And they've been great to us so far. Just in general about William Mason, yes, we did meet. We talked in public with several parents. and through email and stuff. The conceptual drawing that you've seen out there, that is exactly what it is, a conceptual drawing. If the referendum does pass, then we start getting into the exact details of what's going on and figuring out where exactly the best placement of the building is going to be. The site drawing was done based on the topography of the land, as well as trying to keep the costs down for the public. When we start looking at the nitty-gritty, it all depends on exactly where they are from the property lines, what the core sampling is going to prove, where we do have bedrock, what's going on with the environmental restrictions that we're under. So the architect would be looking at all that. You have made your points clear about what you would like us to look at. I'll bring it to the attention of the architect as we move forward, if it is successful, and then we'd really try to plan this out and do the best we can, staying within the scope of the project.
Okay. I guess there are no other sections for the meeting. Has to be closed.
Motion, John?
Yeah, I'll just reiterate real quick. One thing that some of the members of the public said relating to traffic around the area, and it's a problem now. I don't know if there's any, I don't know if it's possible to make it better with the new design, but I just hope, I haven't heard that we looked at that specific aspect.
So that is another area that we are looking into. One option is we could reverse the flow of traffic, so we could absorb a lot more of the cars down on the other side as opposed to pushing it off on the Cheyenne. But we'd have to look at that depending on where the building has to go, how we have to move the parking lot, and then the traffic flow. But that would be one of the priorities to that project.
Again, it's a conceptual drawing, and at this point, nothing is final. Okay, motion to close? Second. Thank you. Good night, everyone.